Good morning, guys. This morning what I'm going to be doing is carrying out the oxidation of benzaldehyde to benzoic acid in the presence of potassium permanganate. So potassium permanganate is going to be our oxidizing agent. I've already set up my boiling water bath, and now I'm ready to start to measure out my reactants. I have a large reaction vial. I'll place it on my balance and I'll tare its mass. Using my Pasteur pipette, I will add about 2.2 grams of benzaldehyde to my reaction vial. This is 0.21 grams. I will record that in my data table because I will attempt to do a percent yield calculation at the end. Now I'm going to add about 6.5 milliliters of the potassium permanganate solution that I have prepared. I'm going to need to take this off, and I'm going to need a separate container. Okay. I don't think Oh, it does. I don't need a separate container. Yay. Okay, 6.5 milliliters. And I will add it to my reaction vial. Set this aside. Set this aside. Next, I'm going to add about 4 drops of my 1 molar NaOH. And 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to seal the vial with the Teflon coated lid. And I am going to invert this a few times to ensure thorough mixing of my reactants. And what I can already start to see is that the purple color, which was present, is now changing to a brown color. The brown color signifies the reduction of the permanganate ion to MnO2, otherwise known as manganese dioxide. All right, thoroughly mixed, definitely tight. I will attach the copper wire handle And I will add it to my boiling water bath. Oh boy. So I'm going to try to pay attention to this, specifically the lid here. Okay. If I start to see lots of bubbles coming out of the lid, then what I'll do is I will take it out, let it sit, and tighten the handle one more time. I do see a stream of bubbles coming out, so I'm actually going to take this out. I'm going to let it sit for about a minute, and then I'll tighten the cap and I'll try again. Boy, it's leaking. Of course it is. Right. So I can note here that I did lose some of my reaction mixture. So the pressure generated by the liquid inside here caused the lid to loosen up. Okay, what I would like to try to do now is seal the lid one more time. This is kind of frustrating. Okay. Try and use some parafilm, which probably won't work because it's so hot. Nope, it's not going to work. All right. I don't have any more Teflon tape, so I can't use that. There we go. I'll continue to keep an eye on the lid, but otherwise this is a 20-minute incubation period, so I will be back in about 20 minutes. Okay guys, I'm back. My timer is up. I'm going to sit this on my desktop for a minute to cool. As I'm waiting for this minute to happen, I'm going to start moving things over. So that I'll be prepared for the next step, which is vacuum filtration. I'm going to move this into my cool water bath for 3 more minutes. This hose does not fit here. Let's see if I can find the right hose. Found it. Need a wash bottle. And in about a minute, I'll be ready. Okay. All right. It's my timer, and I'm ready to move on. So it asked me to wear some gloves. I will. All right. I'm going to take this out. I'm going to take off the copper wire handle. And then I will carefully open this reaction vial. Okay. Oh boy. Definitely got some solid here. All right, and what it asks me to do now is to test the reaction mixture for residual potassium permanganate. So what I might actually do is put this cap back on. Try to get that solid out of the cap. I did. Okay, good. All right. And now it says I want to see if there's any unreacted potassium permanganate. You want me to test it with a piece of pH paper. So I have my pH paper here. And it says to dip my pipette into the mixture and then touch it here. Okay. So if you look carefully, what you can see is that my brown spot is indeed surrounded by a pink halo. And what that means is that there is a little bit of unreacted potassium permanganate. So now what I'm instructed to do is add a few drops of sodium sulfite, which I don't have because this is sodium sulfate. I'll be right back. Back with the right chemical. So I'm going to add a few drops. How about we start with 2? I'll put the cap back on. I'll mix it. I'll try again. Oops, turned over. Now this looks good to me. All right. So I'm not going to add any more. Done. I'll move this out of the way, and I'll move this over to trash, and I'll put this back. Okay. Now what I'm asked to do is some vacuum filtration. I need some warm water, which I've prepared. It's actually borderline hot, which I hope doesn't make a big difference. TBD though. Maybe I'll add some regular temperature water to it. So it's just warm. I think we're good now. And I'm going to adjust my camera and move over to the filtration apparatus, which I have set up right here. Okay, maybe I can zoom in a little. Okay, all right. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to filter this via vacuum filtration. And then I'm going to wash the solid with small volumes of water and keep the filtrate. So first, let's just see if this even works. No. Okay, it's working. That's good news. I'm going to add this. Rinse this out. I'll get everything that I can. I don't need to rinse it with just a little bit of water, so I will. Maybe a little bit more water. Okay, did it. So now what they want me to do, well, first of all, I'll show you this. Okay. That is my brown solid. I could turn it in the right direction. There we go. And now what it's asking me to do is take my tea-colored liquid, which I now have in here. I'm going to carefully remove this hosing. Actually, it might just be easier to do this. So you can see my tea-colored liquid, and I'm going to transfer it to a small flask. Small flask. Right. Don't mind that either. And the next step, what I'm going to do, okay, is readjust my camera, and I'm going to add some hydrochloric acid. Okay. And my goal here in adding hydrochloric acid is to lower the pH so that the benzoic acid begins to precipitate out. So I have pH paper here. I'm going to grab a few more droppers. And get to adding my acid. I have my acid. They want me to add 1 to 2 milliliters. Okay. All right. What I will do before I begin is test the pH of my solution so that I have an idea of where I'm starting. They want the pH to be 1. Okay, currently it's pretty neutral. Okay, so it hasn't changed color. Here's my acid. I'm going to slowly add it. I'll do 10 drops at a time. Doesn't really tell me what to do. I'll swirl it. Try again. Still pretty neutral. 10 more drops. Swirl it. It's starting to get a little cloudy. Look at that. And it's precipitating, so that's good news. Wasn't sure if that was actually going to happen. All right, pH is definitely getting lower. I'm going to add a little bit more. Okay. Swirl. Test the pH again. I need a new strip. I'm going to show you these when I'm done. Okay, but it's getting pretty low. It might be at a 3 right now. All right, now it's pretty low. Yay, perfect. So if you look here, let's see if I can hold these up without contaminating them. But from start to finish, neutral, slowly more acidic to here. And for me, that's close enough to a 1. My solid has precipitated, and I'm actually pretty pleased with myself. Okay. All right. In the next step, I'm going to precipitate out, or not precipitate, but vacuum out, vacuum filter this, my benzoic acid. But before I do it, I'm going to cool my mixture to maximize the precipitation in here, a cold water bath. I think I have a little too much water in here, so I'm going to take some out. I think I still have too much water. I don't need that much. Okay. All right, I'm going to let this sit for a few minutes, and then I will do my filtration. I'm going to rinse this out because I care about the precipitate now, so this has to be clean. Got some more water through here. I don't care about what comes through my filter, so I'm not going to bother to try to clean that. I'm going to swap out my hot water in my wash bottle for cold water. I'm going to adjust my camera now for the filtration setup. Okay. And we're going to get started. Okay. Set up my paper. And to be completely honest, I feel like I should measure the mass of this if I'm going to do any kind of percent yield calculation. My mass is 0.74 grams. Take that back. That was 2 pieces. 0.38 grams. Let's get this done. Turn this on. Let it. There's the suction. And then here I go. Okay, time to rinse this. Get it all out. it. Trying. Not easy. Can't even get all the solid here on the filter paper. Okay. So they want me to dry it here. I'm going to stop this. I'm going to unplug this. Okay, put that in here. And then I'll show you. Okay. That is my off-white precipitate. Next, we will be doing the melting point test, among other tests, to confirm that we did indeed get benzoic acid.